Hi, and welcome to the second section of 1302's course content, the novel. In this section, we're going to focus on the novel The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Hopefully by now you've read most, if not all, of the novel. Of course, this is the novel, one of the editions. There are several different editions. It really doesn't matter which edition you use. But this is the one that I've supplied for the course, and that is available through the Angelina College bookstore. So this is a novel that we'll focus on in this section over the genre of the novel in 1302. And if you go into the course, the primary focus for this section is twofold. That means that we will be reading the novel. There will be some information about major themes, characterization, symbolism, elements like that of the novel. But perhaps the most important portion of this section of the course is the fact that you will be writing your first essay for this course. An essay in 1302 is considered a major grade. So in this case, this essay, the literary analysis that you will be writing over the novel The Road, is worth 10% of your overall course grade. This essay is found in detail in the course menu under writing assignments. Under writing assignments right there. And so you can access the details about this particular essay under writing assignments in this section. And that will be here, your first writing assignment. There's a printable, viewable version of this writing assignment attached to that file. And if you open it, this is what you will see. This is English 1302, and the requirement is an MLA documented literary argument or literary analysis. So you will be creating an argument about the novel The Road. Your assignment is to write an analytical paper. You must use the writing process to create your paper. The paper should be 3 to 5 pages in length. The assignment is to analyze text in Cormac McCarthy's The Road. So this essay will focus on that novel alone. And your assignment specifically is to argue either that the novel is a novel of hope, or you can choose the argument that the novel is a novel of despair. This argument must be grounded in academic research and textual evidence to support your argument. There must be support in the forms of academic research and or textual evidence in every body paragraph of this essay. And you will see that your final essay, when complete, will be 3 to 5 pages using MLA 8, a works cited page of at least 4 sources, possibly more, and a works cited page. In other words, you should be building on the foundation of what you learned in 1301 about proper essay formatting and MLA research. I teach this class from the standpoint that you've had 1301 and that you have a solid understanding of the basic principles of MLA, essay formatting, and documentation of research. So this is the assignment, and this is the primary assignment for this section of the course. There will also, of course, be a test over the novel, but this is the first major essay that you will be dealing with. A couple of other things to point out that will help you are the fact that under writing assignments, there are also student writing examples. So for instance, there is a student writing example of this particular essay over the road. And this is an example of an A-quality essay from a previous student here at Angelina College who wrote this particular essay. This is a good place to start so that you can see basic essay structure, things like in-text citations, and finally, a works cited page that is complete. So these are all elements that are part of the basic expectation of this particular essay. I would encourage you to review this essay carefully. Please don't be tempted, of course, to copy from it, but review it for form and function. This is a really good example for you to look at. The other thing that I would like to point out to you is that in your course menu, under Course Help, there is an MLA Help section that provides some resources that are useful for you when assembling your essay and using proper MLA standards. For instance, if you need to review the basic title page of any essay, you can access that here and see an example of a properly formatted MLA title page. So there it is. If you are unsure where to access information in your textbook concerning MLA documentation, and your textbook is a great resource, you can obtain that information here. And so if you open this document, you will see that it gives you qualifying page numbers for basic MLA functions that you may need to reference as you finish this process. Other things that you may find here are a sample MLA 8th edition essay. This essay is provided by Purdue OWL. It's a good resource, but it's much more complex in terms of documentation than the kinds of documentation you will probably have to do in the essay that you're writing, but it's a good resource if you would like to look at it. There is also an MLA 8 citation worksheet here. This is for full citations. And this is a worksheet that I've put together to help you construct full citations using proper MLA 8 style. So for instance, this is divided into two sections. There's print sources, and if you scroll down, eventually you'll see where it changes to include internet sources. So the first part is print sources, the second part is internet sources. And so basically how this worksheet works is, for instance, if you have a book that's the most basic type of print source, it's a physical book, you can write the author's last name here, the first name here, if there's a middle initial, place it there, the book title there, the publisher, and the date of publication. And you can see an example of a book that's formatted in correct MLA 8 style. So Lee, Harper, period, To Kill a Mockingbird. It's a major publication, so it's italicized. Warner Books is the publisher, and then 1982. And you can see the pattern of punctuation. Lee, Harper, period, To Kill a Mockingbird, period, Warner Books, 1982, period. So if you have a book with one author and it's a physical publication, you can supply the same information for your particular book and come up with a correctly formatted citation using this order and this example. If you scroll down and continue to look here, you'll see that there's probably a citation example for everything that you might encounter. So this is a great worksheet to print and take with you to help you form accurate full citations that would be placed on your Works Cited page. Again, book with no author, that does happen sometimes. Book with 2 authors, book with 3 or more authors, book with 1 editor, book with 2 editors, and so forth. So you can see that I'll give you a physical example and then the order of placement of information for each of those citations. Our full textbook is an anthology. It's a physical printed anthology. So here's an example of how to cite anthologies if you need to cite a textbook, either in this paper or later on in the course. That's the full textbook that we're using, not the novel. And then, of course, as you move through here, magazine articles. This is a printed magazine. A scholarly journal, that's a printed scholarly journal. A newspaper article, if you find one, that's a printed one. And then internet sources, where this also, there's some variation. So when you're citing internet sources, for instance, if you're citing a magazine from an online database, the author's last name, the author's first name, middle initial, title of the book, magazine title, issue date, day, month, and year in that order, pages, database name, in the URL. And so you can see the proper punctuation here for this particular publication. So in this case, this particular example does not have an author, so we skip the author and go straight to the title, The Science of Decision Making and Peer Pressure. It's published in the New York Times Upfront. That's the name of the magazine title. It's published on the 8th of February 2016. That's the day, the month, the year. Because we're not using the whole magazine, just a certain page number. Page numbers are there, PS17. That means that in this case there's a section called S17. The database that it was obtained in, for instance, if you research something online, particularly through the library, and you use a database, you have to give the database source name. So student resources and context, that's the database name. It's italicized because it's a major publication. And then the complete URL and all citations in with a period. So basically, you can go through this and use this as a tool for beginning to do your full citations. I always encourage my students to do the full citation first, because once you have the full citation, then it's very clear how to cite whatever quote, paraphrase, or summary you're bringing to your text by creating a proper in-text citation. For more information about in-text citations and how to properly create in-text citations, you can go to your textbook. That is probably the best resource. And that information, of course, can be accessed very quickly by going into the MLA section, and getting the Literature and Portable Anthology MLA Guide, opening that particular document, and you will see that in-text citation directory is here, and it's on page 1328 of your textbook. A works cited page directory is here, starting on 1331 of your textbook. There's a complete example of an MLA essay on page 1342 through 1346 in your textbook. So lots of great resources. If you're struggling with a citation and you're just not sure what to do, and you've taken the time to look in a couple of places, don't hesitate to email me. I'll help you where I can, but I do expect you at this level to be very resourceful and very capable of handling this process on your own. One last note in the MLA section to help me get you started. I want to point out that there are some other useful links. There are links to the Purdue OWL Writing Lab. That's a good MLA resource. There's a link to the Modern Language Association. That's the governing body that sets standards for MLA. And then EasyBib, a citation machine. As with all outside sources, make sure that you're consulting them for MLA 8 and not MLA 7. not using MLA 8 could potentially be a fairly costly error. So make sure you're accurate with your citations in the format that you choose. Like always, I'm an email away, so if you have any questions, please let me know.